What's up, you all on YouTube, you all on Instagram? Today, I wanted to discuss the truth behind Caitlin Clark, and the truth behind Caitlin Clark is the fact that it's an anti-white agenda, and I say it's an anti-white agenda because why are people truly upset with Caitlin Clark? Now, this whole thing being about race was created by the media last year. And it was done again out of context, like it normally is with Black people, where Angel Reese is taunting Caitlin Clark. And everybody's immediate reaction is, well, Caitlin Clark does it too. This is this thing where Black people, when they're held accountable, they say, well, white people do it too. And this is why I always say, but white people. Those three words are what's going to send most Black people to that fiery furnace. Because if a person's unaccountable, they're not going to heaven. So there's no way on God's green earth your actions can be justified because you believe that somebody white is doing the same thing. It's absolutely insane. But it's a part of the anti-white agenda. Understand there's a feminist movement, and the face of the feminist movement is Black women. Caitlin Clark is a straight Caucasian female. She has a love interest. She's probably a Christian, middle class family. She represents the greatest threat to feminism because Caitlin Clark isn't supposed to be doing what she's doing. She's just a regular white girl, and she's challenging Black women in the sport of basketball because basketball is supposed to be a Black women's sport. I don't know where they got that from. You look at the NBA right now, the top players are from another country where you got Jokic, Luka, Giannis, still not American. They're foreigners. So the NBA will be completely global in a minute. There won't be any local stars anymore. And I told people this last year. They're going to make all of this stuff global. America's finished. Again, this is a culture war. And they're not going to, just attack America. They're going to destroy American culture. They're going to flood the borders. They're going to open the borders to America, let everybody come in so that America is unrecognizable. That's the goal. And so Caitlin Clark represents America. She is a staple of America, the white girl from the cornfields of Iowa. Strong Christian values, family, all of these things. She's the threat. And so she threatens the agenda. And the agenda is for Black women to spearhead the division of the family completely. I'm sorry to tell you, Black women, you're being used for this. All these antics that you see are ways to make women undesirable to quality men. The goal is not to dissuade couples. The goal is to keep quality men from getting with quality women. That's the goal. Quality families. They don't care about these degenerates having offspring or getting married. They care about quality men. Hold on a second. They care about quality men choosing a quality wife. And so the goal behind all of this is to make women undesirable to quality men. This goes back to the men. Because no self-respecting man is going to put up with these shenanigans. He's not going to do it. No self-respecting man is going to date Angel Reese. Most self-respecting men are not going to date most of these women we see in media. They're not going to do it because the household is going to be chaotic. And so Caitlin Clark is the threat against feminism because her being popular makes that lifestyle feasible. I can do it the right way and succeed. I don't have to do all that stuff. Now, I want you to listen to why Angel Reese was taunting. I don't know what's wrong with Instagram. I see it keeps cutting up, but I imagine it's because the topic. I want you to listen to the reason why Angel Reese said that she was taunting Caitlin Clark. You might be surprised. And you might be surprised. Oh, man. Hold on. Okay, I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention to her reason to why she did it. Now, the media has gave you all kind of reasons. Well, Caitlin Clark did it and all this stuff, but they never told you why Angel Reese did it. They never gave you the context as to why Angel Reese did what she did. And this is the very reason that most people want me to shut up. Most people want me to stop talking, not because I'm lying, but because deep down inside, people want to be foolish like this. People want to have what they call grace, what they call wiggle room. When I'm talking about Angel Reese and Amanda Seals, most women get offended because a woman's worst nightmare is a man that can see them for them. A woman's worst nightmare is a man that can say, I see past all of that and I see the real you, and this is it. So when I'm critiquing women, most women get offended because they feel like if he can see it, the other men can see it. But as a woman, you should want a man to see past your chaos and see past that foolishness, to see past the lashes, to see past the weaves. Women claim they want a man who love them for them. So you all should celebrate a man that can see past all of the circus act and actually see you for you. And so I know that most women don't like my critique of women. Even when it came to Meg Thee Stallion, even when it comes to Angel Reese, even when it comes to Amanda, whenever I critique women, most women feel a certain way because most women by default in America are feminists. You've never seen a protest, riot, or march against feminism. You've never seen women come together and say, we are against feminism. You know why? Because most women actually like certain components of feminism, even if they say they aren't feminists. But let's continue.
How long were you sitting on the?
Oh, I was waiting.
How long were you sitting
When I
on the?
tell you I was waiting, I was waiting. Me?
At what point were you waiting to pull out this?
Man,
Kind of the Caitlin
Caitlin Clark is a hell of a
incredible
player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls, South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. But y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket.
You heard what she said? You heard what she said? She said that she disrespected another player on another team, somebody that Angel Reese competes against. So what would make Angel Reese feel offended about Caitlin Clark doing anything to South Carolina? What would make Angel Reese feel any type of way about what Caitlin Clark did to South Carolina? Now, keep in mind, the disrespect she's talking about is because Caitlin Clark, I think she might have scored 44 points on them. She scored over 40 points on them. Either 41 or 44, I don't know. But that's the disrespect she's talking about. She's talking about how dare this white girl beat South Carolina. It's supposed to be us in the national championship game. Think about this now. Angel Reese's reasoning for taunting Caitlin Clark wasn't because Caitlin Clark did it. It was because she felt that she disrespected a rival. Do you know how insane this is? And all Caitlin Clark did was drop over 40 on South Carolina and upset them. So remember, they weren't supposed to beat South Carolina, and they beat them. So the disrespect she's talking about is the fact that they won the game. This is still a part of the anti-white agenda. And if you can't be held accountable, you are not going to heaven. And I want to be very clear on this. If you cannot be held accountable, you are not going to heaven. Period. I don't care what anybody tells you about not judging and don't judge, and you can't tell someone. If you can't be held accountable, you are not going to heaven. It's just simple as that. But let's continue.
But I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
So the victor goes the spoiled.
The basketball. Watch Caitlin Clark, left side. She doesn't even look at her. Waves her hand as if to say, I don't care about you. I'm not defending you.
Were you sitting on?
Now that's what she called disrespect. That a person that can't shoot and ain't gonna shoot, I'm not going out there. Think about this. Just think for a second. That's what she's calling disrespect, and that's something that she did to another team. Everybody does that in basketball. We'll live. We say it all the time. We'll live. That certain people, when they got the ball out there, they either gonna shoot or miss, or they're not gonna shoot at all. That's why she said, and Angel Reese said she did that because of Caitlin Clark did that. And y'all want to tell me that's not racism? That ain't anti-whiteism? How dare Caitlin Clark not go out and defend a person that can't shoot? How dare this white girl not go out and defend the black girl knowing the black girl can't shoot? That ain't the real reason. The real reason is she dropped over 40 on South Carolina and upset them. That was the issue. That was the issue. Crazy.
On the,
I was waiting.
how long were you sitting
I
on
tell
the?
you, I was waiting. Me?
At what point were you waiting to pull out this?
Man,
Kind of the Caitlin Clark
Caitlin Clark is a hell of a
Incredible.
player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls. South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. But y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So
Listen, and y'all want me to take Angel Reese seriously. Y'all want me to look at Angel Reese and see past all of this and see something else. No, I saw what I saw. Low character, cowardly, all the above. Throwing stones, hide your hand. Don't want to woman up. You mean to tell me you were taunting Caitlin Clark for what she did to a team that is your quote-unquote rival? That's your rival team. So you mean to tell me you're sticking up for your rival when it comes to Caitlin Clark and y'all don't think it's racism? And y'all don't think it's racism. This is an anti-white agenda. Imagine if Caitlin Clark had went to the desk after the game and said, I was taunting Angel Reese for what she did to another white player on another team. This is absolutely insane. And this is why people don't want me to talk, because I'm adding context. And when you add context, it removes the emotion. Context removes the emotions. And so when they give out information to the media, they always give people information without context to get them riled up in their emotions, especially Black people. And at this point in time, it's becoming very difficult to have a nuanced conversation with Black people because they don't grasp context. And you can get mad when I say that. You can say don't say it, but they don't grasp context. Because most black children don't read, write, or do math on grade level. That means at 4th grade, children are supposed to learn reading and comprehension. In the 4th grade, you're supposed to learn reading and comprehension. That means you are comprehending what you are reading. You are understanding the context of what you're reading. If the average black child doesn't get that in 4th grade, when do they get it? If the average black child is behind in 4th grade, where they don't get reading and comprehension, they don't grasp context, when will they get it? In the 5th grade? In the 6th grade? In the 7th? So you see that the lack of context is a huge problem in the black community. You cannot have a nuanced conversation with most black people. You can't. If you don't believe me, just try to do it. Try to tell somebody that the Great Reset is more important than police brutality. Try to tell somebody black that Agenda 2030 is more important than reparations. Talk to them about it. Try to tell them, and you're going to see. And that's an indictment on black culture, because black culture rejects education. It just does. Let's continue.
I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
She said, I wanted to pick her pocket. I wanted to steal the ball from her. Angel Reese has very poor lateral movement. Now she's stunting. And this is what I mean by stunting. You know good and well, if you go on that perimeter to guard Caitlin Clark, she's going to blow by you. You know this. But this is what I mean by stunting. This is what I mean by this is called stunting. Who I couldn't wait to get up here. Who I couldn't wait. I had to get her for what she did to somebody else on another team. I had to get her for that. What? I wanted to pick her pocket. Angel Reese has no lateral movement at all. Zero. No lateral movement. I'm talking basketball. I'm not talking about hating black women. I'm talking basketball. She don't have any lateral movement. On one of these popular sports sites on Instagram, they're talking about the moving screen. I said it was a moving pick. How do I get called a sellout for saying it was a moving? Think about this. How am I a sellout for saying it's a moving pick? How am I a sellout for saying that the ref made the right call? How does that make me a sellout? How am I getting people cursing me out? These are men, though. These are men calling me sellout and cursing me out over my opinion over a call that the ref made. And the only difference between the two players is that one girl was white and one girl was black. And you all don't think there's an agenda at play. You all don't think that none of this stuff is going to manifest into something very tragic and cause great destruction in the future. Where I can't even comment on a call a ref made without getting called a sellout. Let's continue.
So the victor go the spoiled.
The basketball. Watch Caitlin Clark, left side. She doesn't even look at her. Waves her hand as if to say, I don't care about you. I'm not defending you.
Were you sitting?
That is what all basketball players do. If a person can't shoot, now when Russell Westbrook was playing with the Lakers, this was done to him many times. People would turn their back. Shoot. And they want to make it a big deal because Caitlin Clark is white. This is done in basketball all the time. The center got the ball. Okay, prime example. Who did South Carolina beat to advance in the tournament? Where the big 6'8" girl hit a shot off the glass to win the game. Their coach told her, don't even guard her. The coach drew up a defense and said, now listen, the coach had a chance to upset South Carolina, and the coach told those girls, don't even guard her. They left her wide open at the top of the key. And nobody said a word about the coach's strategy. Not disrespectful or nothing. But when Caitlin Clark does it, all of a sudden now it's a problem. You know why? Because Caitlin Clark is a threat against feminism. She is a white female who is not lesbian. She represents a threat. She's not woke. She plays basketball and she's good, and she has the audacity to go up against black women and not be intimidated. She has the audacity to have some swag. She has the audacity to be compared to Steph Curry. She has the audacity to be great in this black-led sport. It's jealousy, it's envy, but most importantly, it's intimidation. Black women are intimidated by confident white women. They're not going to say it, but it's true. They're intimidated by Caitlin Clark. It's intimidation because most of these black women are in circles where white people bow down to them. They're around a bunch of white liberals. Most black folks you see that are quote unquote successful are surrounded by white liberals that do this to them. They bow down to them, tell them how great they are. And then Caitlin Clark comes in the room and drops 44 on you. You're looking crazy. But let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go to the infamous screen.
For Paige Beckers to get a look here. Aaliyah Edwards barely leaning, and the foul is called. Oof.
Gabby Marshall, who has made critical defensive plays.
Now, Gabby Marshall had to get off social media because everybody's upset that the ref called a foul on the other girl. Gabby Marshall had to get off social media because y'all out there was talking crazy to this girl because the ref called a foul. Now, when Angel Reese is talking, she's lying. Angel Reese got criticized for poor sportsmanship. And it is poor sportsmanship to taunt somebody who isn't even talking to you. It is poor sportsmanship to taunt somebody that's not even talking to you. It's called poor sportsmanship. It's one thing to talk trash. It's one thing to follow me around the court doing this behind me. That's Amazon outside. So again, the right call was made. So now, because Iowa won, and you don't want to make it about Iowa winning, you make it about this call. Black folks, in particular, black people, don't do well with adversity, and they don't do well with owning up. This is a cultural problem. Everybody and their mama is blaming this call this ref made that was the right call on why they won the game. That's not why they won the game. They won the game because Iowa outplayed UConn, plain and simple. I'm rewinded. Notice the commentator says she barely leans. Again, I'm going to break down after this what actually happened.
A screen for Paige Beckers to get a look here. Aaliyah Edwards barely leaning, and the foul is called. Oh.
Gabby Marshall, who has made critical defensive plays at the end of games throughout the conference tournament and the end.
So when Paige comes off this pick,
Beckers to get a look here.
She doesn't let the pick set. Again, in basketball, the offensive player has to come off the pick. That means the pick is established, then I go. I don't go before the pick is set, because if I do, I'm forcing the person setting the pick to try to move to set a screen for me. And that's what happened. Paige should have waited a couple of seconds, maybe a second and a half later, so that the girl could actually set a pick for her. But she didn't. She just took off. And the girl, this is a violation. If that offensive player is in motion, you can't jump in front of me and set a pick, because the person has to have a reasonable amount of time to go around the pick. If that was the case, you couldn't stop anybody. If I could just jump in front of you when somebody was moving, you couldn't stop anybody. So this is a clear and easy call to make for a ref, especially, in my opinion, at this time in the game, because this play right here gives the offensive player an advantage, where in another situation it wouldn't have. If this center doesn't set this pick at all, then there's no advantage. But this play gave UConn an advantage, and it was illegal. It was the right call made by the ref. It's not the ref's fault. It's not white America's fault. It's not this player's fault that Paige took off too soon, eager to get that ball. Iowa played great defense this game, and the girl right here played great defense. And they want to mar this win by making it about the refs basically cheated. This is what they're saying. The refs cheated for the white girls. This is why people don't want me to talk. And I'm saying this for a reason, because over the past 2 days, I've had 3 days, I've had 3 people talk about me talking on social media. And one person told me that several people have came to her about my content, talking about, oh, it's his delivery, everything. Think about this. When it comes to me, everything doesn't have to be said, and my delivery needs to change. Have they ever said that about Kamala Harris? Have they ever said that about Kamala Harris? Just think about who doesn't get critiqued when they speak. Have they ever said that Angel Reese needs to change her delivery? Have they ever told Angel Reese everything don't have to be said? Bill Gates did a TED talk talking about depopulating the earth, and you ain't heard nobody say change the way he talks. You never heard somebody tell Klaus Schwab to change the way he speaks, or Joe Biden to change the way he talks, or Cori Bush, or Fannie Willis. Why is it when it's them, they can say what they want to say and no subject is off the table? But when it's Blanche, I got to change my delivery, change my strategy, and limit what I say on social media. You don't hear these critiques about Amanda Seales. They don't tell Amanda Seales to tone it down. They don't tell Amanda Seales to change her delivery. They don't tell these people to do that. And Instagram keeps freezing. Instagram keeps freezing. I get it. But they don't tell Amanda Seales to change her tone, to change her subject matter. It's just me. That's how I know it's Satan. Somebody wanted me to be quiet. Somebody wanted me not to say anything, but then let Ben Crump talk. Nobody ever told Benjamin Crump to stop crying, or Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Umar Johnson. Nobody ever tells these people to change the delivery. Umar Johnson talks crazy to y'all, and you've never told him to change his delivery or subject matter. These black celebrities, influencers, social media personalities, these people talk crazy to y'all, and you never told them to change their delivery or subject matter. But when it comes to Blanche, everything got to be said. I rebuke it. It's Satan. And I'm going to keep talking. I'm not going to stop talking. I'm not going to shut up. I'll be quiet when God says be quiet. Let's continue.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege. It's like what pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
I'm glad again. Play it one more time so you can hear it.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege. It's like what pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
Dear white people, do you understand they are insulting you? This girl said that her privilege puts her over the top and not her practicing. Think about what they're telling you. They're telling you all that white people are only achieving because of privilege. This girl dedicated her entire life to a sport, and you sum it up because she's white. And if a white person said this, y'all will be outside protesting. Most black people are cowards because they can dish it, but they can't take it. Y'all know good and well, if a white woman said what this woman just said, black women would throw a fit. Black women got mad at Caitlin Clark for doing this to her teammates, to the staff. Black women got mad at Caitlin Clark for doing this to her teammates and her staff. Angel Reese got mad at Caitlin Clark because she had the audacity to beat South Carolina. Y'all can dish it, but you can't take it. Black people can dish it, but they can't take it. Black people are the fakest bullies around. Black people spit a whole bunch of anti-rhetoric all the time. And if one white person says, one white person, you got thousands, you got millions of black people spitting anti-white rhetoric every day, all day. And if a white person there just says, America's not racist, y'all throw a fit and crumble. Y'all start crying, saying it's not. Amanda Seals had 3 articles written by her, and she had a nervous breakdown. She had a mental breakdown. It's disgusting.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege.
This girl just said that her privilege got her to this point and not her basketball skill. And nobody would dare even critique this woman just because she's black. And you believe because somebody is black, they're telling the truth. This is what I talk about. Black people have the ultimate privilege because when a black person gets in front of a microphone and speaks, everybody believes they're telling the truth. I'm telling you all right now, if the average black person is in front of a microphone, they're lying. Everybody assumes that when black people are talking in front of a microphone, that they are telling the truth. You just heard Angel Reese lie on Caitlin Clark. You just heard this young lady, she just lied. I can pull up video after video of black people lying, but because they're black, you believe they're telling the truth. And that's, to me, the most dangerous privilege to have. Because when a white person is speaking, they're assumed to be lying. This girl just said her privilege put her over the top. And she's telling Plum, she reminds me of you because basically your privilege is the same thing, but you play down your privilege. Listen, I want the white folks of old. I don't like white liberals. I don't like these new age woke white people. I don't. I want white folks that are unapologetically who they are, like Larry Bird, like Bill Laimbeer. We're not tucking our tail, ducking our head, none of that stuff. Plum just sitting there, you right. Because she black and you believe she telling the truth. She got some say-so to tell you how you earned your spot in life. These same black women that condemn white women are the same ones that dominate the hair care industry to make their hair straight like white women's hair. I am so tired of this notion that white women wear weaves. That is a false statement. It is you know why it's false? Because it's non-contextual. That's why. You know good and well white women ain't doing this nowhere in public. You know good and well white women ain't doing this and gluing the edges down nowhere in public. Y'all know good and well black women account for 85% of the hair care market. 85% at 6% of the population. I had a black woman unfollow me because I said it. I had a black woman unfollow me. She stopped following me because I said the truth. Black women try to condemn white women, but then spend billions of dollars to look like them, even down to the skin bleaching. Like I said, they can dish it, but they can't take it. White women wear weaves too is cap. White women, Asian women, Hispanic women account for 15% of the hair care market. That means the rest of the women in the U.S. account for 15% and black women account for 85%. And y'all have the audacity to say that white women wear weaves too. That is a cap statement. It's cap. It's cap. It's out of context. Everybody knows that black women don't like their natural hair. Everybody knows this. That's not common for white women, Hispanic women, Asian women. That's for black women. A girl I used to date years ago, she was going to the Dominicans to get her hair pressed. No perm, all natural. The Dominicans was taking care of her. Her hair was all the way down her back. Hair got long. The Dominicans cared about that girl's head. It was a reflection on their business and their craft. So they took care of my ex. Her friend, who was bald-headed, told her, come to my beauty salon. See my hairdresser. I told that girl, I said, don't go to that hairdresser. I said, they're going to make your hair fall out. I said, everybody in there bald-headed. I said, the Dominicans got hair. They don't have hair envy. If you go to the black beauticians, they're going to make your hair fall out. I've seen this my whole life. I've seen this complaint my entire life of black women going to these black beauticians and making their hair fall out. I seen them all. I said, don't do it. I said, you're going to walk in there. You're going to pull that hair out and do all this. It's going to fall down. I said, they're going to hate on you. Lewis Promo. The only way that you can help me is to get this stuff off my account, Lewis Promo. You can DM me, but Instagram has a whole bunch of restrictions on my account, so I can't keep. I lose followers, all that stuff. So I don't know how you're gonna fix that, Lewis Promo. My account is butchered through shadow banning, censorship. I don't know how you're gonna fix it. Because I know you'd want some money, but you're not gonna be able to get past these algorithms unless you know somebody on Instagram. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to help my account. I'm sorry. I can show you right now. I should have at least 100-some thousand, 200-some thousand followers, easy. My account been the same for the past 3.5 years. Censorship, shadow banning. If I gain one follower, I lose two. It's crazy. So I don't know how you're gonna fix that, Promo. But anyway, so my ex, she don't listen to me. She listens to her bald-headed friend. She go to the beautician, filled with black women, and when she walk in the door, she's already good looking. You good looking with long hair, they gonna hate you. I don't care what they say. I don't care nothing about the rhetoric. You walk into the beauty salon and you look good with long hair, they gonna hate you. This is what it is. Get mad, do what you want to do. It is what it is. Protest, sign a petition. You walk in the black beautician, you got long hair, you look good, they gonna hate you. So she goes in there, and when I get back to the house, she crying. I said, what happened? She looked up at me. I said, they messed your hair up. That girl took out 5 chunks of hair about this big. 5 chunks gone. I call them 5 plugs. 5 plugs gone out her head. I was looking to plug some up, and there was so many plugs on like for an outlet or something. 5 plugs. 5 plugs in her head missing. She showed me. Boom, 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 boom. And the plugs were strategic in the area, in the crown area. So now, when the plug's in your head, now you gotta cut your hair. The goal is to get you to cut your hair so they ain't gotta look at it. The goal is to get you to cut your hair so they ain't gotta look at it. That's the goal. And she's sitting there crying. I said, I told you. I said, why would these bald-headed women have been bald-headed all their life treat your hair right? Why would they do that? They're not gonna do it. They got long hair envy. They got long hair envy. This woman on this screen just said that Paige got where she was because of white privilege. That Plum got where she was because of white privilege, but she earned it. Let me guess. The white women got it from white privilege, but the black woman earned it. Cap. There are more concessions made for black women than any other. The only group that is above black women and how they get treated is trans. Black women can go on social media and say whatever they want to say and do what they want to do, and nobody better not say nothing. You cannot hold black women accountable in society.
Yeah, pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
This is why they don't want me to talk. This is why they don't want me to talk. Well, let's continue. Hold on 1 second. Let me get to.
You've seen the moving screen heard around the world, but was it? Of course it was, even though it wasn't when it actually was.
What the f does that mean, Kobe Bryant? What the f is he talking about?
Now follow me. I talked to several referees on every level on yesterday, sharing my thoughts and getting more clarification on the rules. But first, let's start with why it wasn't. It wasn't because of how this particular game had been called up until that point. It really is that simple. Now let's get to officially why it was. Well, based on Rule 10, Article 2, in obtaining and maintaining legal screening tactics, the screener shall A, stay within their vertical plane with a stance in which the inside of the screener's feet are not wider than shoulder width apart. The screener shall not lean into the path of an opponent or extend their hips into that path, even though the feet are stationary. So we could say that Aaliyah Edwards violated these provisions as outlined in the rule book. But whose fault was it? The refs or Aaliyah Edwards? Actually, it was neither. It was Paige Becker's, doing what many of us as shooters do and have done. And that's not being patient, setting up our defenders to rub cleanly off of the screen. Case in point, this beautiful setup by Paige earlier in the game. Taking off too early and leaving a gap always puts the big in a position to pick up a cheap foul, whether on the ball or off the ball. As a coach, I have always placed blame on those coming off of the screen and not those setting it. For more detailed breakdowns, follow B-Ball 101 EPD.
Now, that's my boy Dorian Lee, and you can follow him at B-Ball 101 EPD. But
start with why it wasn't. It wasn't because of how this particular game had been called up until that.
Hold on one second, YouTube. Wait 1 second. I'm going to exit out of Instagram and come right back because they keep buffering the video. And I imagine it's because of the subject matter. Just give me 1 second. Because it keeps pausing, the live for some reason. For no reason. I know how to fix it though. I know how to stop it from buffering. I'm gonna get it stop buffering, you all. Welcome back to Instagram. Joe Biden is the best president ever. Kamala Harris is the best vice president ever and a national treasure. And actually, Kamala Harris should be president. Trans women are women. There should be an LGBTQ flag above the White House. Black people are oppressed. White people are bad and they have privilege and they should give reparations. Russia's bad. That should do it. That should fix it.
It really is that simple. Moving screen heard around the world. But was it? Of course it was. Even though it wasn't when it actually was.
What the f does that mean, Kobe Bryant? What the f is he talking about?
Now follow me. I talked to several referees on every level on yesterday, sharing my thoughts and getting more clarification on the rules. But first, let's start with why it wasn't. It wasn't because of how this particular game had been called up until that point. It really.
Now, the example that he gave was on a handoff. And a handoff's a little different than a set pick because a handoff is the offensive player is still in motion. So it's kind of hard to call a moving pick on a handoff because I don't know what you're going to do. At the last minute, you could hand it off. So to me, this example doesn't apply to that because in that situation, it was a set play where the person was supposed to screen the defender and then Paige come off of it. Paige Becker's. But I just want to highlight that. A handoff is different than a regular set pick because the handoff, the offensive player still has the ball in their hand. They're handing it off. You don't know what they're going to do. They could even fake the handoff and turn around and shoot. So it's a different situation. The ref made the right call because that girl had been playing good defense all day. And guess what? When people play good defense, it makes it easier for the refs to call offensive fouls. I played in many games and got offensive fouls called all the time just by being in position. And again, it's not, if you play defense, it ain't difficult to do. It's all about positioning. But anyway, yeah, I just want to just say that. But that's Dorian Lee. You can follow him at bball101 EPD. If any of you all have children that play basketball, I recommend you follow his page. He has a lot of tutorials on his page about he breaks the game down to a science, different moves, different shots. I mean, everything. He's actually a basketball savant. If y'all were to check him out. But he's actually very good at what he does. Very knowledgeable. Let's continue. Let's continue. Now, I want to go real quick to these players pretty much hating on Caitlin Clark. Okay, let's go right here. Let's go.
But the first
drew over 12 million viewers. With this growing success of women's college basketball, the rematch between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in the NCAA tournament drew over 12 million viewers. With this growing success of women's college basketball, WNBA players and media have started to hate on college players, in particular Iowa's Caitlin Clark, with articles being written such as "Make Basketball Black Again" in response to her large fan base.
Now the guy in his article said dirty debutantes and hot sauce. We're going to talk about that later. But notice you can make articles that say make basketball black again. Ain't nobody say anything. This man did an article. You can't even find the original article anymore. You can't even see whether it was contextual or not. Dirty debutante is a play on words. Hot sauce is a play on words. Because he's talking about the cultures of the team. But anyway, forget it. It's too much. Again, most black people, most liberals struggle with context. But you can make an article, make basketball black again, and nobody has a problem with it. Now keep in mind that Caitlin Clark playing LSU was the highest rated game in college history for women. Caitlin Clark playing LSU was the highest rated game in women's college basketball history. But all black women can seem to think of is Caitlin Clark getting the shine. The only reason people care about basketball like they do is Caitlin Clark. I don't care what anybody tells you. The only reason people care about basketball the way they do is because of Caitlin Clark. Make no mistake about it. All year long, they've been talking about Juju. They've been talking about Angel Reese, South Carolina's coach, and the team, and they've been talking about Caitlin Clark. South Carolina's team, Juju, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. But the biggest draw out of those three is Caitlin Clark. Make no mistake about it. And everybody knows it. But they're just mad because she's white, she's from Middle America, and she's not a lesbian. She likes men. She's going against the narrative. Look at somebody on here, right? He said that's a false statement. Nothing I just said was false. Nothing I just said was false. Nothing. But because I'm saying it, it just makes him upset. Look at Anthony. I'm not going to lie. I've never watched a women's basketball game, but I'm curious to see Caitlin play. Exactly. Exactly. People are watching basketball because of Caitlin Clark. That's undeniable. If you don't believe me, just go to the ratings. Listen, we have measurable data. I know this don't matter to the bliggity blacks, but we have measurable data as to why folks are watching basketball, and it's Caitlin Clark. And what the media did was the media made it about race because Angel Reese showed poor character. So the media had to cover it up. So they covered it up by making it racial. The media did that, not Caitlin Clark, not Iowa. Angel Reese showed poor sportsmanship, and they had to cover it up. So they put the blame on Caitlin Clark in Iowa, made it about white and black. But Blair, that's a false statement. No, Caitlin Clark is good, but the point I'm saying is that what you all are saying is proving my point. Everybody's saying in the chat, I want to see her. I want to see her right now because all of this hoopla makes you want to watch her play. Look, people saying Paige is better than Caitlin. You entitled to your opinion, but there's nobody. Paige was good 2 years ago. Not with these ratings, though. I don't care who you name. Nobody is a bigger draw than Caitlin Clark. And we know this because the WNBA players are hating on Caitlin Clark. Taraji, hold on. Hold on. What's that girl's name? Diana Taurasi. They asked her, who would you pick? Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese? WNBA, who would you pick first? This girl said Angel Reese without question. All you got to do is force Caitlin right. Well, my thing is, then force her right. You know, they used to say with Clyde Drexler, force him left. Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. I done seen Caitlin Clark go left and right. So y'all can try to force her right, but I done seen her score going right. But just to say just force her right is insane. That ain't going to be enough. Force her right, that ain't going to be enough because she moved out the ball too well. A lot of folks don't know the sport. I ain't talking about you, but a lot of folks don't know the sport. A person that moves out the basketball is going to be hard to guard, especially in this non-discipline era of basketball. We are in a non-discipline era of basketball. People are too consumed with social media to be concentrated on the court. So again, she just like Steph Curry. Steph Curry is hard to guard because he moved out the basketball. When he doesn't have the ball in his hand, you got to find out where he is. He is constantly moving. That makes somebody very difficult to guard if they ain't got the dribble. And I ought to look at great players because they play well off the ball. Great players can play well, and Caitlin Clark plays well off the ball. So guess what? Even if she don't touch the ball, you still got to know where she is. But Clyde Drexler had no left hand. But the question would be, well, make him go left then. They can go left. No, you can't because she shoots, and she shoots too far from the basket. So it's going to be hard. See, the problem is it's hard forcing somebody either way that far from the basket because they got too much space. You don't know if a pick is coming. You don't know if she's going to pull up. Listen, people that can shoot and handle the ball a little bit are difficult to guard. This just is what it is. You know, but it's tough though. That's what makes Steph Curry difficult to guard. Even somebody said Kobe Bryant, people like Michael Jordan, they don't stand in one place. So if Mike don't have the ball, he moving. Like it's tough. Like it's just tough to guard. Because when they catch the ball, normally it's gonna be how they want to get the ball in their spot. It's gonna be tough. So I'm not just gonna diminish her and say we can force her left. We can force her left to make it difficult, but she gonna score. She gonna score. Yes, Amy. Amy said, I'm driving. I had to pull over to comment. Caitlin and Iowa playing any other team this season has higher ratings than LSU or South Carolina. Anyone who hasn't seen her should check out YouTube. 100% correct. Caitlin Clark is must-see TV. And I'm not even saying she's that dynamic of a player. I'm just going to say she's dynamic because she can shoot like Steph. Again, we are in the Steph Curry basketball era where the long ball is better than the dunk. This is the era we're in. We're in the era of the long ball. You know, they say a statement in baseball, chicks dig the long ball. It's the same thing. Like chicks like the home run. So again, so my point is that we're in this era of the long three. She shoots long threes. That was she like. So she's perfect for this era of basketball. Maybe 10 years prior to this, she wouldn't be. I don't know. But for this era, she's being compared to Steph Curry because he is the guy of this era. It ain't LeBron and Steph. Nobody out there is playing like LeBron with no moves, raggedy threes. Nobody's emulating LeBron James' game. Nobody. Everybody's emulating Steph Curry. Let's continue though.
In this video, we are going to look at WNBA players and the media hating on Caitlin Clark. Let's get started.
What do you think about Ice Cube and the Big Three offering Caitlin Clark $5 million to play in their league?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts, but the first one is, so you offered the contract to a player who's not yet even in the WNBA. Big Three does not happen during overseas season, so that doesn't make sense.
That's true.
And then for us to get like just constantly shit on, like you can't even acknowledge the growth and how amazing the WNBA is doing because shit like this happens.
When
you didn't even have to bring up the W. If you're gonna say that it's for that, then stand on that. But I don't think I think he's trying to make a business decision, which he's a businessman, that makes sense. But to mask it in this, I want to uplift and support WNBA players and women athletes is kind of a cop-out, I think. And I don't think it really makes any sense.
Right away, we have Lexi Brown hating on Caitlin Clark's $5 million offer from Ice Cube to join the Big Three.
First of all, and this is what these women don't understand. And this is how you know it's racism. This is how you know it's racism. Why would you not want someone to come to your league that is going to be the biggest star ever? All the NBA players know that Michael Jordan made what we see possible today because Michael Jordan took the sport global. Even Isaiah Thomas, his biggest hater, said, we got paid revenue shares from the league because of Michael Jordan. We got revenue shares of the league because of him. Even Isaiah Thomas said that. So you want somebody in your sport that is a big name so y'all can get paid. So folks want to watch the WNBA. But because y'all so prideful, you got so much black girl magic, so narcissistic, you can't see the forest through the trees. Ice Cube was a businessman. But if he does this for Caitlin Clark and she goes to WNBA, they're going to be watching WNBA because of her. Go look at basketball ratings when Michael Jordan was playing and go look at them now. Go look at them when Jordan was playing and when they look at it and they trash now. Because the product There's no star in the NBA that people actually want to see. There's no star in men's college basketball that people actually want to see. The media tell you people want to see LeBron, but that's the media. That's the media. LeBron is a media orchestrated machine. They talk about LeBron every day, year round, all the time. If it ain't about his son, it's about him, it's about an injury, it's about it. They talk about LeBron to make you believe that it's this crazy to see LeBron, but it's not. It really isn't. It really isn't. I believe that most people watch LeBron to actually see what he's gonna do, who he gonna blame, how he gonna mess up. Nobody watches LeBron saying, I know LeBron gonna pull it through. I got confidence. They already got an excuse. They already got an excuse for LeBron James. They're gonna blame Anthony Davis. They lose this year. Anthony Davis' fault, D'Angelo Russell's fault, Reese's fault, the coach fault, injuries, father. Come on, man. What we doing? Nobody's watching the NBA because the product is trash. They made it non-competitive. At least with women's college basketball, it's still competitive. It's still competitive. It's still a love for the sport. It's still grind. It's still grit. It's still all of these things that we love about sports in general. It's at least college women's basketball has some pureness left in it. NBA is WWE. But let's continue.
Just like we have talked about in previous videos, the best doesn't always get paid the most. Caitlin Clark got that huge offer because she brings in a massive audience that no one in the WNBA could bring in. Not only is Clark a very skilled basketball player, but she's also very entertaining to watch. And that's why Ice Cube would make such a large offer.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record.
Now, this is Cheryl Swoops. And I was so disgusted by Cheryl Swoops when I saw this. But this is Black women right here. Her shirt says female, fearless, and Black. And she just lied on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark actually got the collegiate scoring record in less games than Plum did. An extra COVID year was given because folks weren't playing basketball. Think about this. She said she got a COVID year. Yeah, because they weren't playing. Caitlin Clark got the collegiate scoring title in less games than Plum. This is a fact. You can just look this up. Cheryl Swoops hurt me when she did this. I respected Cheryl Swoops and looked up to her. But again, this is the anti-white agenda. How dare this white girl, how dare this plain white girl that we don't think looks good, we don't think have any swag, how dare this white girl from Iowa, from the cornfields, chucking corn with her dad out in the fall, how dare she come to this sport and get all this praise and limelight? Let's continue.
So is it truly a broken record? Yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is, but that's the way it'll be. And I don't think it should be. Let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
Now listen, Cheryl Swoops she's just lying. She lying. What I find funny is in basketball, do you know how many players reclass? You know how many players leaving high school at 19? Somebody mentioned O.J. Mayo earlier. O.J. Mayo was 20 years old as a freshman at USC. OJ Mayo was 20 years old as a freshman at USC. He was 20. That means in high school, he was how old? Cheryl Swoops just said something that was nuts. These high school boys reclass all the time. Literally getting a year to two extra years in high school, literally. And going to prep school. These guys are reclassing and go to prep school. And then you're going to lie, talk about Caitlin Clark is in the same group as somebody being 25. Caitlin Clark is 22 years old. This is her 4th year playing basketball, or 4th season, 5th year of school. 22 years old. It's just hate. But guess what? She's allowed to hate because Caitlin Clark is white. You understand what I'm telling you all? It's okay to hate on white people. That's funny and it's a joke today, but in the future, it's going to be detrimental. These folks can get on TV and lie on this girl and nobody say a word about it. Let's continue.
Like, you should be killing them. Yeah. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have. Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
Cheryl Swoops told 3 big lies in her statements about Caitlin Clark. The first is how many years she played college basketball, implying that she played 5 years because of COVID. In reality, she's played 4, just like Kelsey Plum, and she even broke the record in less games. The second lie is how many shots a game Caitlin Clark takes, saying she takes 40 shots a game. Over the course of her career, Clark has only shot 19 shots a game, which is less than half of what Swoops said. And finally, Swoops said that Caitlin Clark is 25 years old, when in reality, she's only 22. Cheryl would then make a response after being called out for lying.
I'm going to say this, and then I want to be done with this whole conversation.
I told you. Now, she got caught lying, and instead of saying, I'm sorry, instead of saying I was wrong, I'm going to come back on this show with a Black History t-shirt on. Y'all don't think it's propaganda? Not I'm wrong, not y'all are right. No humility. I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it.
So for people to come at me and say that I made those comments because I'm a racist, first of all, Black people can't be racist, but that's the farthest thing from my mind. I grew up in a very small West Texas town, predominantly white. My best childhood friend is white. So it's important for me that I speak up for people that look like me. It's Black History Month. So our ancestors fought and died for us to have opportunities that we have today. I have no issues with Caitlin, her breaking the record.
What does Black History Month have to do with you lying on Caitlin Clark unless you're saying that Black History Month is all about lying? Cheryl Swoops just said, I got to stick up for Black women. So you stick up for Black women by lying on Caitlin Clark? What is Cheryl Swoops even talking about? This is what I mean by Black people. There's no honor in the Black community. There is no honor. Just say I messed up. Just say I was salty. Just say I looked at her. Her hair was long. Mine wasn't. I got mad. Just say her shot was better than mine. Just say I'm tired of all the praise she gets. Just say I hate the fact that people like her. Just tell the truth. But don't get on here trying to hide behind race. Talking about Black folks can't be racist. Black folks are the most racist because Black people have the machine behind them being racist. A Black person can say, I hate white people. And folks get on TV and say, I understand. She's been through a lot. And it's tough out there. You know, Trump's running for president again, and it's just a lot of stress and pressure on her, and I get it. What? Black people have the ultimate cover for being racist. The whole propaganda machine supports black folks in being racist. I can't stand these crackers. Listen, I know what he said may have sounded racist, but put yourselves in the shoes of a black man. When you wake up, you go outside and you just don't know if today will be the day that a police officer decides to take your life. Or you go to work and your boss might just say you're fired. Or you might try to go get some food in your neighborhood and just realize it's only fast food, no healthy places to eat. Just think about how hard it is being a black man, the image, the stereotypes. So although what he did was wrong, let's just ease back a little bit and understand how tough it is being a black man, who I might add gets called way worse than the word cracker. And let's face it, us white people, we can handle cracker. It doesn't mean anything to us. But him being called the N-word, that means a lot. His ancestors heard that word and were lynched, and were hung, and were beat. The police have a negative image of him. Society has a negative image. It's hard being a black man. So although he did say the word, let's be forgiving. And let's understand that we've all made mistakes. That's how you defend blackness. That's how and the crazy, all you do is just don't be accountable for what you did. Make it about something else. You will never be able to argue somebody bringing up slavery. How you gonna do it? Cheryl Swoops just lied, and her response is it's Black History Month. And they make black people sound weak because black people are weak. If you can dish it, but you can't take it, you're weak. If you cannot be responsible for what you did, you're weak. That's what being weak is. I can't accept the responsibility of what I did. I can't be accountable. That is what weakness is. Let's continue.
I think obviously is a tremendous accomplishment, although, you know, we could get into that discussion also because there was a big debate on Lynette Woodard having the actual record.
I'm not really sure what any of that had.
Now she's saying that Lynette Woodard had the actual, listen, it's despicable, it's cowardly, and people want me to not say nothing about it because Cheryl Swoops is Black. Cheryl Swoops is disgraceful. She just summed up her entire existence with that couch situation right there, with this interview. And I say that because instead of her having a moment of honesty, she chose to double down on the decadence, and that makes her wicked. What she's doing is literally being a wicked person because you know what you're saying isn't true, but you're saying it anyway to save face. That's called being wicked. And the irony of all this is Cheryl Swoops can be called a queen after this. She'll still be a queen. Caitlin Clark can never be a queen. Think about this. Caitlin Clark, who ain't never lied to y'all, can never be a queen. Cheryl Swoops doubling down on lies can still be a queen. And you want to tell me that it ain't no such thing as Black privilege? There ain't no such thing as Black folks being racist? You crazy. Disgusting.
Had to do with her lying, and I like how she still insists that Caitlin Clark shouldn't have the record she legitimately broke. I know she hasn't played in the WNBA, but our last hater is Jemele Hill. During an interview, Jemele Hill made multiple claims against Clark, saying that the women's basketball audience would be growing with or without Clark, also mentioning that Clark is only getting so much attention because she's white.
That the criticism is often very one-sided. Caitlin Clark talks her shit. Caitlin Clark is demonstrative. Caitlin Clark, people aren't bothered by that. People aren't bothered by it because they're caught up in the narrative of, oh, here's this, wonderful, kind soul from the great state of Iowa representing middle America. So they put all these sort of, what happens in these sports race wars.
Nobody has said that. When folks were writing about Caitlin Clark, it was about basketball. It was about basketball. It only became racial when Angel Reese displayed poor character. So they had to create a race narrative to get the focus off of how deplorable Angel Reese is. Angel Reese admitted out of her own mouth, I was taunting Caitlin Clark because she disrespected somebody on South Carolina's team, a rival of mine. That was her reasoning. And she only felt comfortable saying that because she knew all the black girl magic on the table, at the table, had already conjured up a spell for America. So she could have said anything at that point. Jemele Hill's making this about race. This girl can play basketball. Why do we keep overlooking this? Angel Reese don't have any moves. Nobody ever critiques Angel Reese's game. She has no moves. She can't shoot. They never critique her game, ever. When it comes to Angel Reese, they never talk about her basketball game. You notice that? When you hear LeBron James will make a layup and the announcer goes crazy. LeBron James will have a putback and the announcer goes crazy. Oh my God, LeBron James. He just put the ball back. It's called media manipulation. Oh, Angel Reese, so tough. But they never mention her game. Angel Reese and LeBron James are the same. They create this aura around them, but they never really talk about their game, though. Never really pick their game apart. It's always their greatness, their aura, but they never. But Caitlin Clark, she white. She can't do this. They should do this. She did. It's foolish. At the end of the day, these black women are afraid of Caitlin Clark. Black women, they don't want to admit it. Black women are afraid of confident white women, especially ones that look plain. The plain Jane white woman that's confident terrifies black women. So this notion that folks are watching women's college basketball because of anybody else but Caitlin Clark is a lie. People say, well, the media coverage is what folks want to see. ESPN talks about LeBron because they condition folks to want to hear about LeBron. The media made Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark this big thing, making it about race. They scared. They're scared of that white girl.
Is everybody projects their own shit on the people coming.
All of this hate going towards Caitlin Clark from the WNBA doesn't make any sense. WNBA players and the media have been complaining about lack of pay and a small audience forever now. So why would you hate on the biggest prospect of all time? She has the potential.
He asked a great question. And yes, I think South Carolina is going to win the game. I believe South Carolina, they'll win the game because they have a better team, in my opinion. They're probably going to win. But he asked a great question. He says, and I'm going to say this too. Iowa's team wasn't better than LSU. Like Iowa was not better than LSU or UConn or South Carolina. But what Iowa does is play basketball. So while other teams are trying to perpetuate some kind of narrative, race, feminism, all that, they just playing basketball. They don't have any other agendas on the court. They're trying to win. So South Carolina probably will win. But then again, we don't know. But I have them winning. Oh, thanks, Sub-Zero. They might just be hating. Thank y'all. Y'all like my little 1980s look? I was thinking about, the 80s look like Apollo Creed and Magnum PI and all them. So I was thinking about. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, let's continue though.
Potential to completely change the WNBA players and the media have been complaining about lack of pay and a small audience forever now. So why would you hate on the biggest prospect of all time? She has the potential to completely change the WNBA. They could make millions from this, but instead, they allow their jealousy to get in the way and complain about the biggest prospect the WNBA has ever seen. It doesn't matter what her skin color is. All that matters is how good she is at basketball and how entertaining she is for the fans. That right there is enough to change the league. But that's all I have for the video.
He had a great breakdown. I think this guy's name is Black Top Buckets. He had a good breakdown. I agree with him, though. And again, WNBA, let's be honest. You all are not going to get notoriety without star players. It's not like, so again, women complain that folks don't watch WNBA. But if you go to a game, what you'll see missing from the game is the stands filled with women. It's a very hypocritical argument. The WNBA doesn't make any money. Who are we kidding? Who are we fooling? Nobody wants to see the product. So you have to make people want to watch the product. Caitlin Clark is it. But your ego and your pride tells you that I'm not going to let some white girl come and boost the sport up. Foolish. But that's not racism. Imagine you saying, I don't want to make more money because she's white. That's racism. Y'all would rather hinder everybody in the WNBA financially because you don't want a white girl to be the face. That is the literal definition of racism. I'm using my power to financially restrict somebody. That is racism. But black folk can't be racist. Yes, they can. Black folks are the most racist. And if I had time, I would show you at least 20 videos of black folks talking crazy about white people. Even Paul Pierce, his take on it. Paul Pierce, who are these little white girls out here? These white girls are talking crazy. Black folks can dish it, but they can't take it. Oh, thanks, y'all. Oh, man. This is my look, though. Now, hold on. Let me go another. Hold on. Let me go to another one. Then the LSU coach, she lied. Now, the LSU coach lied and said she didn't know what time the anthem starts. But then, if you go back, they always don't walk out for the anthem because they. So again, she lied. And I told somebody, I said, if they always do it, if they always miss the national anthem, then why did she lie about it? Why didn't she just say this is our normal routine? Why did she say we always do this? I'll tell you why, because it's cap. That's why. And nobody has a problem when these folks are lying. Let me find this one last clip. Let me find this clip of the coach, the South Carolina coach. I may have two more clips, but South Carolina coach. Oh, where is this? It right here? This is it right here.
So much. I've been attacked so many.
That ain't it. Where? Let me see. This is it right here. I think this is it.
Coach Staley reacts to transgender women playing in women's college basketball.
Biological males in women's sports. I was wondering if you would tell me your position on that issue.
Damn, you got deep on me, didn't you? I'm under the opinion of if you're a woman, you should play. If you consider yourself a woman and you want to play sports or vice versa, you should be able to play. That's my opinion. You want me to go deeper?
Do you think transgender women should be able to participate?
That's your question.
You
want
basketball?
Me to ask? I mean, you want to ask? So I'll give you that. Yes. So now, the barnstorm of people are going to flood my timeline and be a distraction to me on one of the biggest days of our game, and I'm okay with that.
Now, you just told the world that you think men should be able to play with women. A sport that you coach, a sport that you played, and you expect there not to be any backlash? You know how many young girls are out there training right now to make it to college on a scholarship, and you're saying they can all be cut out by men? And then play the victim. They're going to bother me while I'm trying to get ready for a game. They cowardly. It's cowardice. They want South Carolina to win, not Iowa. Nobody wants Iowa to win in the media. Nobody. That's a lie. They want South Carolina to win so this woman can get up there and thank all the transgenders. So she can have a trophy and confetti falling and say, if you believe you're a woman, then come play. That's what they want. And again, it's not by chance that most of these black women that play basketball are lesbians and most of the white ones aren't. And the biggest difference is the white girls coming from two-parent households and the black women coming from dysfunction. I said it. The biggest difference is the households. Black girls coming from being raised by single mothers, black mothers, and white girls coming from being raised with a mom and dad in the house. It makes all the world. I'm not saying it makes them gay or straight. I'm just saying, if you look at these basketball teams, the girls on Iowa like men. Most of the girls on the other team like women. And they look like men. When Don Iman said, them some nappy-headed, I was like, man, that's racist. That's crazy. Till I saw the picture. I heard what Don Iman said, and I said, that's racist. That's wrong, until I saw the picture. When I saw the picture, I said, ooh. Ooh. And he didn't just say they was some nappy-headed. He said they was some nappy-headed. They look rough. Look like a prison yard. And listen, when I saw it, I was like, man, he ain't never said nothing more real than that. Let's make no mistake about it. Who they want to see is South Carolina for this agenda. You want my Cash App? Let me see. I think Angel just put it up, Sub-Zero. She put it up. And my thing is, it ain't just looking like the face looks hard. It's like a hard. Well, let me see if I can find that picture. Let me see if I can find that picture real quick. She might be on that team too. Staley might have been on that team. Now that I think about it. She might be on that team. Man, where is that picture, man? They got mad at Doll. Where is the doll? I want to see that picture, man. Nah, I can't. Listen, y'all. I can't find that picture. Where's that picture? Listen, y'all. They don't have the picture up here. They took it down because they know better. It was a picture he's referring to, and boy, they look rough. Boy, they look rough, boy. Oh, we can't find that picture. Where that picture at, man? Maybe Don Staley wasn't on that team. Maybe she wasn't. I thought she was. Apparently she wasn't. I don't see her on there. I can't find it, y'all, but I wish I could show it to y'all, but thank you, Sub-Zero. I appreciate it. All in all, I'm about to leave. I'll probably finish this up on Monday, tomorrow, maybe, or maybe Tuesday. I'll probably finish it up on Tuesday. Yeah, my bad, Blackjack. She didn't go to Rutgers. My bad. I thought I remember seeing her on the team photo, but my bad. She didn't go to Rutgers. Fruits of Islam. But anyway, let me go through these super stickers real quick. Thank you, Cruise Missile, for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm always supporting. Sewing for Night. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Jahan, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Heather Petty, thank you so much. Good seeing you for the super sticker. Thank you. As a former college basketball player, I agree with you 100%, Blanche. Thank you so much, JVC Chanel. Azaria QS. Wow, you talked about Chad with a mustache. Hi, Blanche. I did, I know. Thank you for the super sticker. MKOK, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Kofi 19. The ancestors they talk about would be so ashamed. Exactly. But thank you so much for the super sticker. And then Andrew Singleton. Racism is a two-way street nowadays, and blacks are the most racist people today. This, in my opinion, is the Obama effect. After the first black president, Democrats and elites must keep it alive. I agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000% with that. But anyway, I thank you all for tuning in today. One more super sticker that came in. E. Arbo, thank you, man. Great show today. Thank y'all for tuning in today. I'll probably finish this up on Tuesday. But my main point of this show was to just point out these cultural differences and the fact that what Iowa represents, and they should just represent basketball. But the media can't let a white woman be the face of basketball. And that's really the issue. That's why I remember last year with Jokic, they were saying it was racist because Jokic was about to get his third MVP. They literally made it about race when it came to Jokic. And so they gave the MVP to Joel Embiid just for him to sit out 2 playoff games. It was disgusting. It was disgusting to make it about him being white, Nikola Jokic, and not it about him being a great basketball player. And the same with Caitlin Clark. They don't want white people to lead anything because we are in the era of being anti-white. And I know it sounds good. Oh, anti-white. No, but I'm telling you now, once white people aren't at the top, so to speak, there will be no order. It's going to be chaos. Once white folks have faded into black and going about their way and let y'all have it, it's going to be utter chaos and destruction. We are in the era of anti-whiteness, and it's not going to end well, people. It's just not. But again, Caitlin Clark in Iowa represent basketball. They represent hard work. They represent teamwork. They represent dedication. They represent camaraderie. They represent everything good with the sport. These other teams don't. These other teams like LSU and South Carolina, they represent a narrative, an agenda, propaganda, and programming. It's not about race. It's about what is the intent behind villainizing Iowa and then propelling and elevating South Carolina and LSU. What are they trying to convey to the world? We want to push feminism through Black women. We want to push the trans movement, LGBTQ, through Black women because they know that Black women run Black culture. And the only way for the LGBTQs to take over Black culture is for Black women to give them the keys. And that is the ultimate goal. And you're going to see in the next few years how much the LGBTQs are going to fully take over Black culture. Fully. But anyway, I love y'all, and I will see you all again on Tuesday. I'm my bad. Tonight on Cutting Through the Culture. Thank you. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. I love y'all.